Hello there, and Happy New Year. So I assume, of course, it's not New Year's for you anymore, but it is New Year's Day for me. And one of the things I wanted to do today while I was watching the football is I wanted to work with my dehumidifier and make some candied lemon slices. Now, never done this before, so this is going to be something new for me, but basically what we're going to do, I've already sliced the lemon. We're going to take and make a kind of a syrup mixture out of sugar and water. We're going to soak the lemons in that before we dehydrate it, and so hopefully we come out with some gummy, sugary, sweet treats. Now, basically the sugar syrup recipe is 1 cup of sugar for 1 cup of water. I only had about 2 3/4 cups of sugar in the house, so we're going to be using about 2 3/4 cups of water to maintain the ratio. But we're going to take that, we're going to melt the sugar in the water, heat it up to boiling, then we're going to let it cool to room temperature. Then we're going to put the lemon slices in it, submerge them in it, heat that up to boiling, then turn off the heat, and then let that sit for 45 minutes and absorb the sugar. After that, we'll put it in the dehumidifier for the rest of the day. However long that takes. It may take a while because this is really a wet fruit, of course, with all the pulp and all that. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to fire up the stove here, and let's see about making our syrup. I hope we don't ruin this because I don't have any more sugar. So I don't know if any place is open on New Year's Day. We'll have to see if I do. Anyway, let's go ahead and get the sugar water started and get that boiling. Alright. Holy cow, that's thick. Okay, let's not burn it, so we're going to turn the heat down and see how that goes. Now I'm going to keep stirring this because, again, I don't want to burn this and ruin it. So we'll bring it to a boil. I have already pre-cut the lemon slices. So once this is to a boil, now we don't put the lemon in until it cools down, so we're going to set this aside. We're going to get this boiling, and then we're going to shut it off and let it cool to room temperature. But I'm going to keep stirring this. I don't know that I have to, but I feel like I should. Looks like we had a couple of bubbles there. I don't know how hard a boil they want you to bring this to, so I'm going to kind of let it get a little more than just a couple of bubbles. Okay. Do you see the bubbles? I call that boiling. So we're going to now shut the heat off, and we're going to allow the mixture here to cool to room temperature, and then we'll put the lemons in. So I guess I will see you back here in a few minutes once the water is cool to room temperature, and for you it'll be a moment. For me, I don't know how long it's going to be, but I'll go watch the Rose Bowl parade. Anyway, I'll see you back here in a couple of minutes.
Eventually.
So the water has cooled down to almost room temperature. I don't have the patience to wait for it to get any longer. So we're going to go ahead and put the lemons in the water. We'll return this to a boil. Once it's boiled, we'll turn the heat off and let it sit for 45 minutes, and then we'll be ready to start dehydrating. So let's go ahead and get the lemons in the water. So for these lemons, basically I just got a bag of lemons, small lemons, and cut the ends off, and then basically got 3 good cuts out of each one. I made these relatively thick intentionally because they will shrink as they are dehydrating. So hopefully, and then when I did cut them, I did de-seed them of all the visible seeds. Alright, so there's our lemons in the water. We're going to turn the heat back on and we'll get this hopefully to boiling pretty quickly. So we'll spend our time while this is heating up and then cooling down, cutting out our parchment for the bottom 2 layers of the dehydrator trays and getting all of that ready, because once this is ready to go, we're going to transfer them there immediately and start the dehydration process. So, okay, as you can see, the lemons are now starting to boil. We're going to let this boil for just a minute, then we're going to shut the water off, let it sit for 45 minutes, and then we are going to pull these out and put them in the dehydrator. All right, we'll see you in a minute. All right, now with the lemons having sat for 45 minutes, we're going to go ahead and load up the trays. Now, I did pull the lemons out of the boiling water, trying to let them drip dry a little bit. We don't want them to be completely wet when we put them in here. We don't want water to be dripping down into the bottom of the dehydrator. So we'll pick from the top here and kind of do our best to make these as less wet as possible. So I'll finish these. Now these slices are still pretty thick, so we're probably going to go with the high setting for each of the trays. Now, I'm not putting very many on each tray. I don't need to, because we just don't have that many slices. So let's go ahead and we'll just go with a nice spread here for each layer. So with the number of lemons we actually have, we only have enough to fill 3 trays. This is just, I didn't know what to expect for the quantities of lemons, so next time I'll probably get 2 bags. There was plenty of room for the rest on the other trays. We could easily have done 2 bags, so we're just doing the 1 bag. I'm going to turn this on, I'm going to monitor it every couple hours, and we'll see where we go from there. But we're ready to go. Alright, so it's been about 6 or so hours. I've checked this a few times and we've tried a few of these earlier. I think these are pretty much done. One of the things we found when we tried them earlier was we might want to try to get a different kind of lemon next time. These were bagged lemons. They're kind of small, but the worst thing about it is the rinds are really thick, so they came out really hard. So basically, you can eat the fruit on the inside, but the rind is really not edible. So in the future, when we get these, we'll try to get some bigger lemons. We'll hand pick them rather than buying the bagged lemons, and look for those that have a much thinner peel. So let's go ahead and pull these off, and let's see what we get. Good. They're very gummy, like gummy bears. Very gooey. Some of the seeds did get exposed on these, but as you can see, very much candified the innards here. So as you can see with the parchment, we had very little runoff into the bottom. And like I said, the instructions say that that's to be avoided at all costs. So just a little bit on the bottom we'll have to wipe out. But here we have the finished product. Let's try. Yeah, the rinds on these all turned kind of hard, so we're just going to not eat the rinds. We're going to give a try to the insides. They're very, very sticky, but let's give them a try.
Ready?
Yeah. All right, Dolly, give it a try.
Okay. Sweet.
Is it very good?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? Like candy?
Like candy.
Delicious. I love lemon candy. I'm going to give mine a try here. All right, we got Dolly's seal of approval. I'm going to give mine a try now and tell you what I think. Takes it a minute. Ooh. Nice and tart, but sweet at the same time.
How's the rind? No, we're not eating the rind. Because it's too tough.
Well, that's quite tasty. I think next time when we get the lemons with the less hard peels, I think they're going to be better. But overall, I think these are quite delicious and definitely worth sharing. So I would say for our third experiment, this one worked out, I think, the best of all three so far. Next on our agenda is our first run of beef jerky, so we're really super excited about that. In the meantime, we're going to eat all these up and, enjoy them. On that note, we're going to leave. Thank you very much for stopping by. If you have any other thoughts or ideas for things we can dehydrate, I know we've got some herbs we bought that we bought raw that we didn't use all of it. We're going to dry them and see how that works. So we'll share that with you as well. In the meantime, take it easy. Have a happy new year, and we'll see you later.